just like a one room setup. I mean, yeah, we just had like kind of run of the mill, cheap 57s
Right.
and stuff.
But
Just
that
making it
setup,
work.
that setup was crazy. The way the live room, the vocal room was set up was like, it was like
Right, because there was
200 feet. It was 200 feet away in the garage. Like the cabling was insane. And like Ryan set up a little camera so you could see into the vocal booth.
Oh my
But
God.
like it was so far removed from
that
where
was
the
the most
loft was.
that was the most expensive thing in the studio was the 100-foot mic snake that I had to get custom made in order to run basically everything from the loft down into the garage where the storage room was, and that's where the drums and the vocals were.
Oh my God, that's so insane. Yeah, that's the other thing too that people don't tell you about building a studio is that how much you have to spend on cables and how expensive those are.
It's so crazy. I know.
Yeah.
It's so
You're like,
insane.
oh, I just need a couple things. And it's like, I don't think you realize you're about to spend thousands on cables over the next couple of
Yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm.
Really insane. So you guys are doing the group love thing. You're starting to make your own records. What was the thing that got you your first pub deal that made you start doing the whole LA writing scene thing?
Well, our paths kind of diverged a little bit because during that time, Ryan was full-time drumming in the band and producing for them. And then I was managing them. But then at night, I was still writing with the other Ryan at home. And Ryan got signed to publishing through Group Love as part of the band.
Right.
And it was a few years. It took a few more years later for that publisher, who they knew me as a manager. They were like, wait, we heard you write songs too. Do you want to send us some stuff? And so Ryan and I put together a folder, and that's how we ended up getting signed to them. So we signed to Warner Chappell. Yeah, to Warner Chappell.
Okay, cool.
So we had kind of they had known me and they had known the other Ryan, but not really understood that we not only were, I was not only managing, but like my real passion was writing and producing. I just thought that what Ryan had done with Group Love was like the early demos and all that early stuff was so good. I was like, if I don't jump on this with my brother who co-managed the band with me, I was like, if we don't jump on this, like it was so good. And so we were like, let's just do it ourselves. So we
and
just,
the funny thing about that time also is like, we had a history with Warner Chappell already because my high school band signed to them.
Oh,
and we were like, no one would know who we were. We got signed and dropped, almost immediately. But I knew a couple of people at Warner Chappell from that. So there was a little bit of history there. And then, of course, the time that I didn't want to actually go on tour and be in a band anymore, Ben was like, no, dude, you have to go do this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your manager. Yeah. It's time.
Dude, I had the same thing. I was in a band, similar, indie pop vibe to you guys. And like the second that we were like, oh, you got to start touring, I was like, oh, but I really like producing. Like
yeah.
What? And
wait, what was the band?
It was a band called Royal Tongues.
Oh yeah,
I know the band.
Royal Tongues.
Yeah, we were fine. And, yeah, and that band was like kind of the same thing where I was like, yeah, we kind of drifted apart, and I was like, I just don't want to tour. I came to LA and we were doing the writing. Like you guys were a big inspiration for us because we were like, oh, you can be in a band and do other artists.
Mm.
And that was kind of our thing where we were like, oh yeah, we can do that. And the second I was doing it, I was like, nope, this is for me. I like this way too much.
Yeah. I mean, the touring thing was an amazing experience. Like in our early 20s to be like traveling the world. Like it was really incredible. But then you hit a point where you're like, okay, I've done that. And my real passion is sitting in a studio and writing music and then letting somebody else go and take it around the world.
Exactly. And then, the sooner you find that out, the better. I think too, where it's like there are some artists where they're such amazing artists and then they start touring and they're like, I don't know if this is for me. And it's like, I don't know if you should be an artist.
Yeah.
Like those are things but then you meet the artists who it's like touring is exactly what they were meant to do. And you see them on stage and you see how they just like want to tour.
They're performers, real performers.
And those are the ones with the longest careers in my opinion, because they just do it. They put the work in, Oh, that was our first tangent. I love that. So I want to move on to how you guys kind of, at least in your earlier stages, because I know you didn't focus on your like the Captain Cuts like artist project too much, but what was that kind of like